Hello everybody. Hey, how are you going this morning? Well, tonight, if you're on the opposite side of the world to me, just going to check on our live feed here. Here we are. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Jump on in, let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm kind of fighting with the sun this morning. It's morning here in Australia, 10 o'clock in the morning on a beautiful sunshiny autumn day, because we're on the opposite seasons to you, but it just sort of feels springy here where I am in sunny Queensland. When you're jumping on, let me know where you're from so I can see. Yep, that's awesome. Hi Kim. Thank you, Joyce Ann. So glad I can see who's here. If you've just joined us, I'm Sharon from the blog I Restore Stuff, where I upcycle and refinish furniture. And I also do some home decor things like sign making, but I love to use my stencils for furniture as well. But today, I'm just thinking it's getting close to Mother's Day. What do you think? May the 10th. I looked it up before I went live to make sure I got my dates right. But it's actually the same day as it is in the USA. So some countries don't have Father's Day on the same day. So we have our Father's Day here in September, and I believe the USA has it in June. What about if you're from Canada? Do you have the same Mother's Day date, May the 10th? And UK people, I don't know if you are asleep right now, but UK, Europe, do they have different days for Mother's Day? I'd love to know. If you're from one of those other countries, let me know what day is your Mother's Day. But I know for the USA and for Australia, Mother's Day is May 10th. So that's one of the thoughts I had when I was preparing for my live this morning. And the other thought was that some of you are unable to see your mums, or you have children that you would like to, or what your mums, will be your children's grandparents, so your grandmas. You won't be able to see them because we're in this isolation time. But I love the idea that people are doing with the signboards and driving by or waving signs out the front for loved ones and showing how much they care. So I thought I'd combine a few different ideas today, a few different stencil ideas. So any of the stencils that I'm using today, I have put them in the description of the live up at the top there. So when you jump out, or if you go later, you can check all of the links are there. Essential Stencil might put some of them as they're going in the live as well. Thank you guys. Thanks so much for saying hello. That is awesome. Dorothy from Arizona City. I'm looking down here because that's where I can see the comments. I'm not seeing them up on my phone, so let me see if I can fix that. Looks like they're not appearing on my phone today. Facebook's playing some games again. But I can see them on my computer. So if you see me ducking across, that's all I'm doing is checking the comments to make sure I've got questions. If you have questions about stenciling and that kind of thing, so we're going to have some fun today making some signboards. Now this is so easy that you don't even have to have a proper wooden board. Today I am just using cardboard from cardboard boxes that you may have received some packages in the mail. So just things like this. Look, it's a piece of cardboard that I've just cut from the side of a box, a big box, mind you. But there are other size boards. Look, here's one that I've prepared earlier, and I've actually painted this one, so I'll be using this one to stencil on today. But it's just the side of a cardboard box, and I've cut that off and painted it in a dark green colour. So we'll be painting on some of those. And I'll be showing you some fun tricks. So let's just get started by painting some of the signboards backgrounds. So these are going to be fun ideas that you can take your kids, go for a drive to wherever it is, unless you're in total lockdown isolation. But some people are able to still go for a drive, wave their signs out the windows, and we'll say, great idea for Mother's Day. Hi, Mum. We'll make a hello mum sign. Let's start with that, shall we? But I wanted to just show you some fun ideas. All you have to do is you can create a background, or I'll just drop the camera down here for you guys. You can create a background on the cardboard, or you can just use it plain and leave it plain like that. So for my background today, I thought I'd just go with a little bit of colour. I'm just going to use some Fusion Mineral Paint, which I use for painting furniture. I'm just going to use an ordinary brush, so any brush will do. Honestly, we're just painting cardboard, but the paints actually work really well on board. So one of the ideas, so on one of the boards I just showed you earlier, is I actually painted the whole entire board right to the edges. But for this one, I just want to show you a little bit of a fun edging look with just that brush strokes showing at each end. So, oh, I love it when I see where you're all tuning in from. So thanks for sharing your places and spaces. Is anyone working from home today? Homeschooling today? Actually, it's nighttime in the USA, but here in Australia, there's a lot of our kids are still on school holidays for the Easter break, which was 2 weeks for us, for my daughter anyway. Deb says it's a cold day in Iowa. Still cold there. It's getting cooler here. See, we've just had our summer and we're heading into autumn weather. So this is just the colour Laurentian. It's a gorgeous green in Fusion Mineral Paints range. We can use any bright colours. Any acrylic paints are fine. I do like the furniture paints because they have extra specially thick coverage, but all I'm doing is just kind of swishing those, giving some swish marks at the end. It's got a little bit of an unfinished look to it. Just as a background for our board. Now, you will notice, I don't know if you can see that, but the board is sort of getting a little bit warped because the paint is wet, and so I use your thickest cardboard boxes for these sign ideas. If you've just joined us, we're making some board signs that you can go and share with your loved ones who you aren't able to give a hug to right now. And I'm just thinking especially of mums leading up to Mother's Day, outside the box, sorry the pun, ideas, out of the box ideas. We're actually literally using sides of cardboard boxes to make signboards today. And these are a great idea for sending love to people in your neighbourhood, or you might have mum who's stuck inside at on Mother's Day, this coming up soon, only a few weeks away, May the 10th. I did look it up. Hi Julie from Australia, great to see you today. So if your cardboard does go a little bit bent here, so you can kind of see it's doing a little bit of a wobble because of the wet paint, just wait till it dries and then you can actually press it down with something hard on either side, heavy. So this is what you can do for, you can either just, that's something I had done at Christmas time on the back there. But honestly, such an easy, simple thing to do. You've probably got cardboard at home. Now, cardboard boxes at home. Here's one that I've done earlier with a gorgeous bright azure colour. Now that's the colour azure, it actually is called that. And I thought that I could do a contrasting colour, and I'm just going to use this actually, what I've got left on the brush from that Laurentian colour, the really pale light green that I just used, to show you a little bit of a dry brushing technique if you've never seen dry brushing before on that. So these are also things that you can do not just on cardboard, and this one has flattened out now because I've put something heavy on top. You can use it not just on cardboard, but on your actual signs that you're making. So I'm going to actually, just to use this dry brushing method, I'm wiping that brush a little bit, offloading it a bit onto my newspaper beside me. And this is actually dry, so this is one that I painted up last night. Teresa says, this colour reminds her of robin egg. It is very bright. I don't know if the camera is showing its actual brightness, but it really is really bright. Yes, Linda says, love how you can think out of the box when you can't go buy wood. Absolutely. So some people have told me that the price of wood has actually gone up. So, yep, using signboards, these are just the kind of things you can wave to your friends and family. But remember, it's Mother's Day coming up, so I'm thinking mum signs, and I'll show you how to make one in just a minute. See that dry brushing there? So I've offloaded my brush as much as I can, And then I'm just dragging the brush gently across the surface. So let me see if I can put that down even further. Just dragging that across there like that. And you can see the contrasting colour, the lighter green. And you could do this with white if you want the colour to pop even more. But it's just a fun background to be able to use on your signboards, or in this case, our cardboard signboards. And there you go. Super easy to do. Let me see if I can hold that up a little bit closer. Sort of fighting with the sun today. You can see my edging. It's a little bit unfinished there. There you go. There's a little bit better. You can kind of see the cardboard ripples actually coming through there. How's that? So this is going to be a signboard that we can... Oh, thank you so much for sprinkling. And I forgot to do that myself. I'm just going to hit the share button here, guys, and send this to my I Restore Stuff page. So if you've just joined me, I'm Sharon, and I'm from Australia, so that's where my funny accent is from. And I'm just going to share this on my page, I Restore Stuff. That's the name of my blog, where I upcycle and furniture and home decor. And I also have a Facebook group. So when you hit that share button, you can actually share it to, if you have a page or a group or your friends. You can even send it in Messenger if you know of a friend who would really like to see that. So I Restore Stuff, you can too, is the name of my group. If you want to join that later, I'd love to have you over there. And there we go, done and shared. Thank you so much for the reminder. I love to do that myself. So let me just swish this across. I'm not seeing comments on my phone, so I'm just going to have to do that over here. All right, so that is pretty much dry now, even though, because I dry brushed it with such a dry brush, that's pretty much ready to go. So let's do our first sign. And I'm going to use, like I said, a few different stencils from the Essential Stencil range. And if you can, I'd love you to use my code, I Restore Stuff, at the checkout when you order your stencils, and you'll get 10% off anything in the store there. So one of the stencils I'm going to be using today, oh, I wanted to show you, hang on before we do that, let me show you. So you may have seen my live a couple of weeks ago, and I showed you another idea for our isolation situation that we're in, which was this t-shirt that I was wearing. And I've got some great news, guys. This stencil is back in stock, and I've got the link for it. Sorry, I'm fighting the sun again up there. I've got the link for it up in the comments. So the stencil actually says, let me find it. It's part of this stencil collection, and it's the Forever. We decided on Forever, and we should probably cuddle. So we should probably cuddle is what it actually says. These are back in stock, so check the link in the description and use my code I Restore Stuff to get 10% off that one. You can make your own t-shirt like this, but I'll show you how in a little while, because there are some letters that you may be missing, so you might have to use some of the little letters on the other side. And instead of saying we should probably cuddle, it's going to say we probably shouldn't cuddle. So you can keep your distance. So I thought that was a fun idea. So I'll show you a little bit later, and we could make that on a t-shirt, or you could make it on a signboard or whatever. My first one, I was going to do the mum idea. So to do that, I'm going to use something from two of the vertical stencil sets. One of them is the spring stencil set, and the other is the welcome stencil set, because at the moment, currently, we are out of stock. Essential's out of stock of the 5-inch huge letters, but if you have these sign boards, you can make up some words out of these huge letters. So the word I'm going to make today is mum, and because I'll do the American spelling just for you guys, M-O-M. So you can make that out of the word welcome, M-O-M. And the other one that I wanted to use, because we're making a signboard that's basically going to say, hello, Mum, is I'm going to use the hello out of the spring vertical sign stencil set. So the links to those are in the description of the live. I'm trying to find the spring, that's it, there's the spring stencil set right there, and you get the word hello, hello spring, and also these cute little stencils down the bottom, which have butterfly, so you can decorate your mum sign with some of these gorgeous colours. So that's the spring vertical set, and Yep, Essential Stencils. Just posting that there. Thank you so much, Ruben, for doing that for me. He's posted the link for the Cuddle, but again, I said they're all in the description, but as they pop them up there, that's where you can get them. Use my code IRestoreStuff for 10% off. Actually, if you click on any of the links that Essential puts here, all the ones in my description, it'll be automatically added, taken off the 10% off. So we're going to use this and go, hello, Mum, on our sign right here. So that's using a couple of the vertical stencil sets. So let's get started with our hello, and I'm going to use it on this gorgeous azure blue background. So we'll use a dark color. We could just go with probably black instead of, or you could use the white, but to make it stand out, it just kind of needs to be some kind of contrasting color. We'll use the hello, and we'll put a few little flowers up here. So today I'm going to use the color Coal Black, just from Fusion Mineral Paint, and we'll use a little brush here. And with my round furniture painting brushes, I just added a rubber band to the end of it so that it makes the brush bristles a little bit stiffer for the stenciling. So you're transforming your furniture painting brush into a stenciling brush. I'm just dipping, oops, you can't see there, sorry. Dipping it into the lid of my paint. Now my brush is slightly wet because I washed it out earlier, so hopefully there's still enough on there. Now you can tape this down on the side. I'm just going to hold it really still here. And I should make sure that I've got enough room for my mom word. Here it is. To go down here. So we've got plenty of room down the bottom of there. So just to show you how I do the stenciling, I've offloaded my brush onto the paper. And it's going to turn out a little bit more grey than black because I've got a wet brush. It's watered it down a little bit, but I'm not too worried. Such an easy idea. And if you've just joined me, we are simply using cardboard from cardboard boxes. So you could just, Jessica says, do you frame the cardboard after or kind of just toss it? You could do either, Jessica. If you love it a lot, you could give it to Mom and she could frame it or simply toss it, because really you can use these stencils for so much more than just these cardboard signs. You've got the stencils forever. Honestly, they've got such great quality. But the cardboard, how easy was that? Just to make that, add a little stencil to it. So easy. And then if you needed to use the cardboard again, paint over it for a different theme or a different day or a different sign that you can hang in your window as people are walking by. How about some ideas for that? I'm just trying to catch your comments as well. We wanted to drive by our, granddaughter's house on Saturday. Hold up signs wishing a happy 3rd birthday. Oh, yeah, it's sometimes hard for kids to understand, isn't it? So that was Ellen's comment, just reading that, about her daughter's worried that she won't understand and be upset that Grandma and Grandpa weren't coming in, of course. Okay, there we go. There's the hello. How crisp is that? I'll show you a little bit closer if I can. So you get really crisp lines if you offload your paintbrush as much as you can. That's the clue to not getting that paint bleeding under. See how little is on the stencil itself? It's because we offloaded the brush right here on the side. So let's choose the other idea. Yeah, let's just choose get the MOM happening across the middle of our sign. M. We should have plenty of room here, but maybe I'll start with the O, just because we've got the MOM. Now in Australia, all my Australian fans are going to be going, no, you're spelling it wrong. We spell Mum M-U-M, but for today's purpose, there is no U in the welcome sign, although I'm sure that if you do have these 5-inch letter sets, which they're currently out of stock at the moment, they'll be getting them back in, I'm sure, because they really are a great staple for our stencils. You could use 3 different colours here, but for the sake of time and the sake of my brushes that I don't have a lot of going, I will just use the black again. But I do hope to just do that shadowing effect sometime on one of these. I'll do I'll do that in a minute on another sign. Maybe it would look good on the mum sign. So guys, what other ideas do you think you could do for drive-bys? So these are great ideas. This is what the idea is for signboards that you can drive by a loved one's house. For example, Mum, on Mother's Day, coming up May the 10th, which I'm assuming a lot of people could still be in isolation. And especially grandmas who are probably in that category of the older age bracket where they're more vulnerable. And so we want to show them as much love as we can. So these are some fun ideas that we can use. Now, if I'm going to be doing this properly, I would probably go over with a couple of different coats, but I can always do that, let that dry, leave it there for a minute. And look, it's so easy to just put it exactly in the same spot again to go over it. So there's the O, let's do the M. Hoping I've got this up the right way, guys. And I'm showing you how I just did that rough edges on the paint, but you could go with the paint all the way to the sides. I just liked the look of that rustic kind of feel. And our M, we're just going to eyeball it. Guys, doing some drive-by signs today. If you've just joined us, Essential Stencil is putting these links to these stencils in the comments, and this set I'm using the M and the O from the Welcome vertical sign set that you would use for a front porch sign. And you can reuse those letters for so many different other things. So we're making a Mother's Day drive-by sign. Okay, I didn't offload that time, if you noticed, because I'm going to offload in the center of this huge letter. So it's pretty easy to offload in the center and then go ahead with your swirling on the sides of these larger letters. And like I said before, if I'm going to do this properly, I will go over that and make that nice and crisp with a second coat. I'll do that a little bit later, just to save on some time with you here this morning. Okay, I'm missing some comments. I'm trying to catch some good ideas here. Yeah, I'm so glad that you guys are jumping in on these lives. Now, honestly, your kids could watch this too, and they would be able to do it with you. It's a great idea to keep the kids occupied if they're inside with you. Okay, so moving that along, we've got Hello Mom. So I'm showing you the hello is from the Hello Spring vertical sign, and the M and the O are from the Welcome vertical sign. So the links to both of those will be in the comments somewhere, and they're also in the description of the live. And if you use those links, they will get you 10% off, or anytime you want to get your Essential Stencils, you can use my code IRestoreStuff and get 10% off your stencils. Sorry, just scrolling through to have a little look again. Yeah, some of you are saying you like that look of the, brush stencil. I'm going to offload in the center of my letter again, because it's quite a wide letter. Just offloading that paint and then going over in the edges, because we don't want that bleeding of the paint underneath, which would not lead to crisp, nice lines. Okay, I've grabbed a bit of paint on my brush and I'm offloading it in this center bit. See how that's a lot darker? And now I'm going to go over the edges, because you don't want the paint bleeding through underneath. Oh, Lynn says, I haven't seen my mum for over 6 weeks. She lives in assisted living and they haven't allowed visitors since the beginning of March. This would be great for outside her window. Absolutely. Lynn. That's a great idea. My husband's cousin, who lives in Seattle, did something for her mum, and she went outside her window, had a display of beautiful balloons. I think it was her birthday, or she was just saying hello. I can't remember. But she went outside. Her mum is in a high-rise kind of apartment building. She called her mum on the phone and said, "Look out your window, Mum," and she saw the surprise of the balloons and her hello sign. And so that would be a great idea for anyone who's in assisted living. So look at that. Hello, Mum, we've got so far. This is thinking Mother's Day thoughts, but even just everyday thoughts, hey? Mums would love it. Now, I was using the spring vertical stencil set to show you. I've lost my little flower. Spring. Here they are. So these are the little flowers. We've got a couple of different designs. Spring set flowers and bees and all sorts of things as well. So, you know, there's so many different lovely ideas that you could do to decorate your sign up here. Add a flower. You know, you can do these in lots of different colours, obviously. Pick your colours. I'll just do, again, the blacky grey, but we can use this as a shadow and go over it later, and I might make some beautiful colours for that. But just to give you an idea, so the hello and the flowers and butterflies come from the spring vertical sign. So those are in the comments and in the description of the live as well. Whoops, just trying to catch your comments, guys, sorry. So many of you flying past. Oh, sorry, you can't hear me? Someone said they couldn't hear. Hope you can hear okay. I haven't changed anything, so maybe... No, my mic hasn't fallen down. It might be a Facebook thing. Let me see. Okay, is that better? Hopefully that's worked better. Could have been my... Okay, Lynette says, how did you get your cardboard box so flat? Okay, so this isn't the box, this is just one side of the box. So I just caught a side of the box, cut it out and cut off the little flaps that are on the side, but you could still use one if you want the extra length with, you know, the sides attached with the bends in the thing as well, so it wouldn't really matter. I've been dropping off treats to friends. Jill says it's so fun and people appreciate being thought about when we can't see each other. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So there's our Hello Mum sign. I hope you like that one. I'll try and hold it back there. So there's a great idea for a signboard. Of course, you can add more of the flowers here. The bird, look at the little bird. So I might add some more of that later to show that. So let me see if I can just pop that back here. Now, the other one I wanted to show you was, let's do that with this green board that I painted earlier. So that was the welcome sign and the spring sign. This is the other stencil set. It's just come back in, and I showed you a t-shirt that I created. And the other idea I had was also a cushion. You could do a cushion with the word cuddle on it. How good would that be? You could even leave the stencil as is, we should probably cuddle. Pop that on a cushion and send it to Mum or someone, or maybe this grandma could do it for her grandchildren. And they can cuddle that pillow and, you know, send them a letter with it that says, these are Grandma's cuddles coming to you, that kind of thing. So that's perfect for that. This is the t-shirt that I was showing earlier, and I just changed the words around a little bit to say, we probably shouldn't cuddle. So those are social distancing t-shirt that I had fun making. So let me just shove that there. But we're going to use this one today and create a virtual cuddle sign. So this is another signboard that you could, you know, wave to the people out the front. And let me just pop that brush in a plastic bag. Oops, hang on a second. so that it doesn't dry out. So there's a top painting tip for painter's tip. If you're going to use your brush again, just pop it in a little bit of plastic or a plastic bag so that the paintbrush doesn't dry out at the end. So because I've got a dark colour green here, this is the colour Renfrew Blue, but I feel like it's much more of a green colour than a blue colour. Now this is the set. I don't even know if there's a name for it. It's the Cuddle. We decided on Forever is on the other side. That 10% off if you use the code I Restore Stuff. And yes, Jessica's asking if you do it on fabric, is there anything specific you should do? I just turn the fabric inside out, reverse side, iron with a hot iron, and that sets the paint. It's just ordinary furniture paint, acrylic. You could use it with any fabric paints, and fabric paint instructions will probably tell you also to set your things as well. And Rose is asking, what do you paint for a t-shirt or blouse by ink or what? I need to know. So Rose, I just used ordinary acrylic furniture paint. Any fabric paint you could use as well. Okay, so we're going to make the word cuddle down here, but I'm also going to use, so this is another set that I've got the description, in the description of the live, where the link for where you can find this also. I used Fusion Mineral Paint, which is simply a furniture paint, but you can use it for painting fabric, all sorts of things. And I've used it in some of my other lives, so if you check out my other lives, you can see those there where I've painted cushions and tea towels for Easter. I did that one recently. And you just turn that in reverse, iron it on with a hot dry iron, and it sets the paint in. You can wash them and it goes fine. So this is the Scrabble letter stencils. There's a pack of 26, obviously every letter of the alphabet, and you've got the little numbers which represent the points that you get in a game of Scrabble on those. So it's a pack of 26. These are 4" by 4" stencil set. I think there could be two sizes, but this is the 4" set. And that's the link that I have for you up in the description of the live for this one. And we're going to be using the letters to make out the word virtual. And we're going to pop the word virtual along here and virtual cuddle. So to do that, I'm going to use the white, a white paint, just any white acrylic paint is fine. I'm just using Fusion's Picket Fence. And let's try another elastic band around the ends of this. Although I could go with a wider paintbrush, I think. So I'll do this cuddle part first. I'm just going to pop that down here to the side. I'm not going to put this on here, so what I can do is tape that off. Oh my goodness, I didn't bring my tape. It's okay. I'll do it without, and I'll just be very careful not to get the edges. But what I would do is use the painter's tape and pop that across there. So I'm going to dip this brush into the paint pot. And again, we are offloading the brush and the paint onto the paper. Okay, just making sure you can still all hear me. Yep, Scrabble letters do look like fun. They all also come in the 6". Someone said, yep, thanks Dana. And so I've got the 4" ones here, which the link is for up in the comment, up in the description. So just using the white here on the word cuddle, and I'm being very careful, but you can absolutely use some painter's tape. Now painter's tape is better than just using ordinary, sticky tape, we call it in Australia, call it Scotch tape, just ordinary tape. You don't want to use that particularly for paint because it can tear the paint off. That's why we use painter's tape. Okay, just again offloading. Using the word cuddle. If you've just joined us, we're creating some signboards, and they're drive-by signboards that you can either drive by or leave them on someone's doorstep. Wouldn't that be fun? But I was thinking of Mother's Day, so I made the one behind me here that says, "Hello, Mum." I'm not sure if you can see that. I might move it back a little bit further. And right now we're making one that is going to say, "Virtual Cuddle." So you could leave someone a virtual cuddle. And look, it's so cheap to make because what did we use? Oops, I've got to be really careful to not get my brush on those other words. What I can do is just use a little bit of another stencil and then I won't get it on there. Smart tip I learned from Melissa. If you've seen any of Melissa's lives, shout out to our other ambassadors who are doing a great job to keep you guys entertained and inspired during this season. Hope you're loving the lives. I know a lot of you are. Okay. Whoops. I feel like I went a little bit strong there. Again, you can use painter's tape. I'm just kind of holding down really quite heavily with my hand. Had a little bit of practice, but we still make mistakes every now and then, so you know. So this is going to be a virtual cuddle. Let me know your ideas for birthdays. You could leave it on someone's doorstep, a virtual cuddle. And you could leave it with, so you could make this on poster board, you know, if you have, a lot of people have poster board just in stock, especially if you've got kids and they're doing things at school that they need them for projects, I don't know, and other things, but I didn't have any. So I just grabbed cardboard box, cut the sides out of it, and I'm using that for my signboard to leave a virtual cuddle on someone's doorstep. And I know a florist friend of ours, she is creating these little posies called a cuddle posy, and she's using them, and people are buying them and leaving them on doorsteps as a little virtual cuddle, a little posy of flowers. So imagine popping your sign on someone's doorstep, giving them a call saying, "Hey, I've left you a virtual cuddle." Let me know, okay. Let me know if we're still live. Hello. Oh gosh, I hope we haven't lost our whole live. Hey guys, let me know if you're still there. My phone says I'm still on, but I'm having trouble seeing it on Facebook. Can someone, oh, I can't even see comments on my phone, so that's being annoying. Amanda, if you're still there, can you tell me if you can see the live? Essential Stencil, if you're still there, let me know. It says I have no internet on my laptop. Let me just double check my phone. Okay guys, are we back? I can't see. I'm trying to see comments. Okay, I am back. Oh my word, this is crazy. I hope it hasn't ditched the whole live, you know, because we've done a lot of work today, guys. Okay, thanks Ruben for sending me a message. That was crazy. All I did was I saw that my internet was down on the laptop, so I'm actually now using the data on my phone, but hopefully it just kind of continues. All right, we're back. Apparently. So I'm using my hotspot on my computer. It's all crazy. Anyway, back down to what we're working on here, making our virtual cuddle sign. And here we are. So I've got the V ready to go. So we're just going to cover over the number 4. We don't need that. Now I've got paint. My paint's all dried out on my brush. It's always a bit nerve-wracking when the internet goes down and we've got disconnections happening. So all right. Yes, thank you guys. Thanks so much for being patient. And look at you, you're all back on again. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's always just a little glitch and we'll always come back. Okay, there's our V. So we can't just kind of separate them out like this, as you can see, because otherwise it would make our letters be so far apart. So what I'm going to do is put it really close next to each other, and thankfully they're see-through enough that you can see. And I'm trying to line it up sort of with the top so that I get it straight and just get that. So the trick is going to be just making them at a good distance apart so that it makes sense. So V-I-R, I prepared my letters earlier, got them all in order. So we're watching to see that is lined up with the other letters here, and also just that the spacing between the V and the I and the R is very similar. So I need to move that just slightly a little bit closer. See how much paint I've got left on my brush. Yep, we're still good to go. So we're making a virtual cuddle, guys, that you could leave on someone's doorstep or drive by and call the person and tell them to look out their window. So many fun ideas that you can do. These are using the Scrabble, the 4-inch Scrabble set, and it also comes in the 6-inch. So just watching my spacing. Yeah, all the links for the stencils that I'm using today are in the description of the live at the top. When you're finished, you can go check that out. And also in the comments, Essential's been wonderful in posting those there for you. So V-I-R-T, now make sure I get my spelling right, hey? This is one word that we all spell the same. We were just saying before, I made if you've just joined me again, we've made a hello mum sign back here, and we spell mum M-U-M in Australia, so it's a little bit different than the American spelling, but I made it for you all. Made it M-O-M. We've got the letter U. And once again, we're just using cardboard boxes. Who else is getting packaging sent to them, like Amazon and other packages sent? Keep the cardboard boxes, save them, and make these virtual signs with your kids. You can leave a virtual cuddle for grandma for Mother's Day, or for someone for a birthday, or just a hey, I'm thinking of you kind of a virtual cuddle. Leaving them on the doorstep for someone as a surprise, with their favourite chocolate, bunch of flowers, all sorts of fun ideas. So there you go, there's our virtual cuddle that you can leave for someone. You could pop another little stencil here, or you could leave this area for like physically taping a chocolate bar or something fun that you could leave for someone on their doorstep. Or yeah, Diana said she missed the mum sign, so let me show you the mum sign I made. So for thinking of Mother's Day, and yeah, I know I didn't spell it the Australian way, but here's our Hello Mum sign, and you can add to that. I used the spring vertical stencil to do the hello and the flower, and there's a bird here. You can add the bird on, or the butterflies in the little spaces there. So that's just some ideas to get you started. And I just wanted to also show you my other idea now to do, and how I did this t-shirt, which was our social distancing t-shirt for the season, is that using the same cuddle sign, so making virtual hugs and virtual cuddles, drive-by signboards, whatever you want to call them, thinking outside the cardboard box today. But for my t-shirt here, I just wanted to explain how I did that. And so we'll just go over it really quickly. I'll point you down here. And as people were asking before, and don't forget guys, we've got 3 prizes to give away today, so don't go anywhere. 3 prizes coming at the end of our live as usual. Just let me pop my paint away brush in a plastic bag so it doesn't get dried out, because I want to keep working on my signs, and I'll show you some fun ideas after the live. I always make sure I post it in the somewhere, like in the Stencil of the Month Club group, or Essential will post them later. So here's our, we probably shouldn't cuddle social distancing t-shirt using the cuddle sign. So we've got the cuddle, that's pretty obvious, we pop that there. Then you're going to want to put the we probably is just from we probably, and the should. So we want to have the should down here with a little space here for the N and the apostrophe T. So you'll place your should after this. So instead of putting it exactly, where is the cuddle? There it is. So that's where the cuddle is, and this goes out here, but I wanted to make them sort of on top of each other so that makes sense. So we put the shouldn't down bottom, so we'll start with should, placing that right about there. I got my spacing just slightly a little bit off if you look really closely, but you get the idea. And I just honestly used a t-shirt that I had in my cupboard. I didn't go and buy a new one. So we've got the word should, and now for the N and the T, you'll notice they're not in this set. So we use the other half of this set, which is we decided on forever. Now there's some other fun words that you could use for your drive-by signs. You could do a love you forever using those Scrabble tile sets, love you forever. To go with your mum signs or with your virtual cuddle signs. There's so many different ideas, guys. So I'm using from here, we've got hopefully an N. Did I have an N? Yes. So you can see the little white patch there is what I used for this. So the should, then we've got an N, which I should put a little bit closer to the D. So you'll add the N. Now make sure you tape off around it, or just use another one of your stencils to cover it over, so that when you do your stenciling, you're not going to get that O in there in the wrong place. So we've got an N. Then you'll need a T. So the T I got from, oh, yep, that's right. We didn't have a T in that set either. So you will find, if you do have, you can either draw it in yourself, paint it in really carefully, but I did have another stencil set, which is the Together Forever one, that happened to have a T on it. So that's this Together Forever set. I haven't put this one in the comments because all I used from it was the T. But it's the same font, that little typewriter font, and I just used that T there at the end. And then for the apostrophe, I used the little I dot and taped that off. So I got the little dot from the I and placed it right above there in the right spot. It's all very technical and tricky, but believe me, you'll want to do this shirt. It's so much fun. So I did the dot from the I, and then I just got a little, I mean, you could just honestly do your own little apostrophe, but I wanted to stencil it. So I used a little, what do you call that? A little serif, or a little extension of the D there, to just put it in exactly the right spot that I needed. I'll show you that up close and personal here a second. And you see that my spacing isn't quite what it could be. But if I did it again, I'd probably do a little bit better. And even the we is probably spaced a little bit too far away from the probably. But there's my little social distancing t-shirt that you can do. Now guys, I'll just recap what we've done today. We've done our virtual cuddle sign, and I'm going to pick out some winners. So let me do that. And we've done our Hello Mum sign. So these are all just starter ideas for you. I'm sure there's so many more ideas flying in those comments there of different signs you could do. The Hello Mum, the virtual cuddle that you can mix together with a, oops, you can't see that all in there. Maybe I'll just pop it over here on my chair. And the other idea is I've got a cushion cover in the background here. You could do a virtual cuddle on a cushion and do that. So here's our signs. I'll see if you can see those while I try and do my selecting prize winners here. So keep those comments coming, because I'm just going to literally scroll through comments and select some prize winners for Essential Stencil prizes for today. So yes, and someone's asked again, how do you set the paint on the shirt so you can wash it? It's just acrylic paint, so turn it on reverse, use a hot dry iron, and it'll be good to go. I've used that on multiple stencils. I stencil on t-shirts often, actually, because it's a great idea just for ordinary t-shirts you get real cheap from Kmart or Walmart, and there you go. So scrolling through my comments here. Okay. Oh, you guys are lovely. Okay. Making sure I spell your names right. Oops, I lost it. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for, oh, Betty says, has anyone got any ideas for a wedding sign? That's a great one. Well, there's that Together Forever. So there's that set that you can also find on the Essential Stencil site. Use my code, I restore stuff, remember? So this one says, Together is my favorite place to be, which is a great little wedding sign idea. Okay, I think I've got my 3 winners, guys. Okay, so thank you guys so much for being a part and being patient. And I hope you enjoyed those today, some virtual sign ideas for drive-bys, for your stencils. Don't forget also about our Stencil of the Month Club. Oh my goodness, club members, I hope you saw the special announcement in the club today. Shh, don't tell anyone. It's just for you to know and for everyone else to find out. But you will want to become a member of the Stencil of the Month Club.com. And you'll find out all about that at the link that we've also popped in the description of the live. You will get $5 off your first month if you use my code, I restore stuff. And you get sent stencil sets, not just one stencil every month. It's like a set of 3 stencils every month. Plus you can opt for the add-on if you want to, every month. April's looks amazing. Melissa did a great job. The cow and the horse, so many different things that you can do with that. It's so much fun. So that's a lot of fun. Just wanted to let you know about that as well. So our winners for today, guys, and don't forget for any of these, use the links that we've provided for you today, and also my code will automatically go in the checkout for you to get 10% off your stencils. So jump on it. And don't forget those Cuddle stencils, they're in now, back in stock. So our first winner for today is Charlotte Law. Congratulations, Charlotte. You've won a prize from Essential Stencil. And these winners, I'll let you know the email address that you will have to email to claim your prize in just a minute. We'll pop it in the comments as well. Charlotte Law and Shannon Thompson, if you're here, you're a winner today. And Tony Garcia de Guire. I hope I've said that right. Tony Garcia de Guire. So you guys are our winners for today. Thank you so much for watching, and go make a sign for Mom. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.